This is a DeWalt Death Machine. It's an antique radial arm saw. Very scary, very dangerous. It only makes sense for me to get one and put it in my shop. Pick this up on Facebook Marketplace for 40 bucks and I'm going to restore it in this video. And I was debating whether or not to scrape everything down and paint it and make it look brand new, but I kind of like the patina that we have going on here. I'm thinking I'm just going to clean it up and let it keep its character. I'm going to start out by saying I have no idea what I'm doing, so let's get to doing it. So here we have the vintage DeWalt PowerShop radial arm saw, and it is quite the mess right now. It's rusted, it's funky, it is scarred, beaten, and battered. Now to turn this thing on, you have to push a button. Ignore the lights in the background. I still haven't got my electricity fixed. To turn it off, you have to push the red button. We all want to push the red button, but if you notice, that blade is still spinning and spinning. And it's probably, oh, it stopped spinning. So right now we're taking the base plate off. This thing was rusted to the point where it didn't even hinge. The board that they actually used was just so beat up. I'm going to replace all of this. Right here, these cheap screws are stripping out. That's actually spider webs wrapped around my drill bit. So these screws are stripped out to the point where I couldn't get them off, and oh hey. So I had to get the King's mallet, and we had to do a job, and it got the job done. If you don't have a massive mallet in your shop, you need to get one. So continuing on, we're still taking that part off. We don't need it anymore, so we're going to put it in the pile that I would burn, but we have a burn ban right now. And look at how disgusting this is down here, and the camera couldn't even get half of the mess. It was so nasty. Now I get it, it's old, it's been neglected for I don't know how many years, but it's messy. So we scraped all the dirt dauber nest off. There's a lot of compiled trash underneath. We're vacuuming it out, and then we're going to start wire brushing it here shortly. So we're just wire brushing all of the dirt, all of the loose scale off. I'm not really going to do anything with the inside of the base where it's super rusted. I would have to sandblast that, and I don't have a sandblaster. So we're just getting nice and clean with a wire brush right now. So I actually decided while I'm working on it that, oh, this is making me nervous. I want to repaint it. I was going to do the patina. Good Lord. I want to go ahead and paint everything, make it look new as I possibly can. I'm not going to get all the rust off, especially all the little pieces, but I'm going to clean up this main body, paint the main body the seafoam green that it used to be. I'll try to restore it as close to original as possible. Whew. Janky blade. So to prep it for painting, the first thing we're going to do is take off everything that we can that doesn't get painted, and hope to God that I don't lose. And hope to God that I don't lose these little screws that keep everything on here. I'm actually more excited about it now to have it painted than I was to just keep that patina. It would have looked cool, but it didn't make that much of a difference. So I really want to make it pop. That's disgusting. Uh-oh. And this was actually a fun job, being able to take apart this old tool. Not really take it apart piece by piece, but take some pieces off and really look at the quality of stuff. So here we're just taping up what I don't want to be painted. And while we're taping up, if you have a radial arm saw, message in the comments, detail in the comments what exactly you use it for. I have an idea what this is good for, but I really want to know all the features. I'm sure I'm missing something. I know you can do everything a compound miter saw can do and more, but let me know in the comments what you use it for.
Hidden sea glass or sea foam is the route that we're going, because that's going to be the closest to the original color that this tool actually was. Now, if you don't have one of these, get one. $10. It helps with spraying whenever you're using these aerosol cans. Oh, you thought I was going to spray it without testing. I'm not an idiot. I still want to verify the color. Is that cluck? I think we're good.
So here we are just spraying the spray paint. For those of you that are going to say you should wear a respirator, I would pose the question, how could I smell the paint fumes if I'm wearing a respirator? Case closed. Now, I really should be wearing a respirator, but you have to actually be clean shaven for a respirator to work. I don't have a full mask, so it is what it is. Now, if you haven't noticed, I'm changing the color. I decided I didn't like that teal. It actually looked like something that should be in somebody's kitchen and not somebody's workshop. So I changed to Hunter Green gloss paint, and I like it a lot better. I painted the motor with the gray gloss paint as well as the blade shroud, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. And so while we're putting it together, let's just take a second to look at how much of a difference that paint made. Now, I didn't get it down to bare still. I didn't remove all the old paint, just cleaned it really good. Like I said, knocked off all the loose dirt, debris, all the loose paint, wiped it down, vacuumed it off, cleaned it real good, and then that's when we applied the paint on top. And it made a huge difference. And I'm happy to say I didn't lose any of the screws. Believe it or not, I typically will lose like half of them, but we didn't lose any. This is the icing on the cake. That little red piece, yes, I went and bought a whole can of red paint just for that little indicator there, and I love it. That's actually my favorite piece on the entire saw.
So I picked this radial arm saw up from Facebook Marketplace for $40. Very cheap. You can find these everywhere for around the same price. Honestly, you can get these for very, very cheap, and you get something that can do so much more than just a compound miter saw or a miter saw. You could do dados, you could do angles, you could raise and lower this to cut big timbers, small timbers, whatever you need. It's a very versatile machine, but it's also very, very dangerous. And the main reason it's so dangerous in my case is because the blade does not stop when you turn it off. And it also does not have a trigger to turn it on and off. It has a button that you press. The main reason that I wanted one is to be able to put a dado stack on the saw itself. I can use a dado stack. Right now I have a 1/2-inch dado stack in place. This is just a dado stack that somebody in my area gave me, that he was getting rid of some tools. They said, hey, you want this? I said, yeah. It's an antique dado stack. How, dang it. It's an antique dado stack on an antique tool. Very fitting. But I can always switch it out for just a regular 10-inch miter saw blade or whatever that is. This is a 7-inch dado stack set to 1/2-inch thickness. Another reason, you can raise and lower the entire arm and set it to whatever depth you need it to do. Now you could do that to a very limited extent with a miter saw, but with this I could put a big timber under here, I could go as low as I need to go, and I could cut out a bunch of half flaps, I could cut out gaps, whatever I need to do. Another cool option or a cool feature that you could do with this is you could rotate the blade. This entire arm will rotate to go all the way up to 70 degrees. I don't know, it'll go all the way up to 105. Obviously, I'm not going to use it like that, but you can rotate it to cut whatever angles you need. Now you can do it, like I said, on a compound miter saw, but you're more limited. Jeez, I'm beat. I'm still figuring this thing out. And last but not least, the blade or the actual motor will actually rotate so you can cut angles within the angle. It's a very, very versatile tool to have, but mine's not going to do that just yet. If you see I'm missing a part. So again, $40 saw. This isn't going, I probably shouldn't put my arm there. This isn't going to make or break whether or not I use it. I am going to use it, but the more I got to working on it, the more I realized how janky this thing is. So to keep the motor from falling out, I don't know if you can see it on film, whoever I bought it from shoved an Allen wrench between this arm and the motor itself, and that's what's actually holding the motor in place. Now I am going to search for a replacement part. Like I said, it's missing a bolt. I would like to be able to tilt this to use it as I need it, but for right now I'm kind of stuck with where it's at. It is pretty freaking scary. I'm not going to use it on this video. I'm actually going to build a stand. I don't want to use it without having a fence in place because there's going to be a major risk of kickback or whatever the heck might happen. So I really want to build a base plate first with the fence so I can push material against the fence and hold it in place. And I am going to do that. I am eventually going to build that on this side of the wall. And that's whenever we'll test using the cuts, really set it to where it's cutting at a right angle. That's when we'll kind of tune it down and tune it in. This is just buying a cheap tool and cleaning it up, making it look nice so that it'll look good in my shop, and I am going to use it. It also shows you that you don't have to spend a ton of money to have nice tools. Look on Facebook Marketplace. If you can't afford a miter saw, especially a new one, look on Facebook Marketplace for a radial arm saw. They are absolutely everywhere. They're easy to get, they're cheap, they will fit a 10-inch blade, most of them will, but you're going to be lacking on the safety features. You turn it on with a button. This does not automatically move. You actually have to move this guard and set it where you want it. And when you turn the saw off, that blade spins for a solid 2 or 3 minutes with no guard, nothing stopping it. It just spins till the momentum dies down. But it's a very, very versatile tool. If you buy one and you cut your hand off, that's on you, it's not on me. It's hot. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Deuces.